Hi. Hope you recovered from New Year's. Have a nice lunch. Oh, Iowa is tomorrow. January 3rd is this whole process that's been going on for a year. Actually goes to the real live voters and they get to make their decision, and it's going to be a very influential vote. But, you know, the latest news indicates that Ron Paul is coming on very, very strong. The PPP poll, which I don't really trust, has him in first place, and it could be a very strong run by Ron Paul. So let's put the Ron Paul phenomenon in perspective. It's just like the 2008 Obama candidacy. Obama in 2008 based his whole candidacy on pulling out of Iraq, and he capitalized on our frustration with the war in Iraq to get the Democratic nomination. Remember, Hillary was more pro-war, voted for the war resolution, and Obama said he would have voted against it had he been in the Senate. And Obama was clearly at Hillary's left on those issues. And that was the key element in animating his surge that permitted him to overtake Hillary. Ron Paul is doing the same thing, capitalizing on our disgust with what's going on in Afghanistan, at the endless sacrifice of valiant young Americans, when our vice president says the Taliban, who's shooting at us, quote, is not our enemy. Well, who's shooting at us then? And you look at the corruption in the Karzai government, that the vice president went to the United Arab Emirates to deposit cash in his hidden bank account. Where do you think that cash came from? The corruption and the dysfunction of the Afghan government has us all revolted. And then when Karzai, the president, said that if war broke out between the U.S. and Pakistan, he would have to back Pakistan when we're giving them $8.7 billion a year of foreign aid, that is absolutely ridiculous, ludicrous. So I think that all of us sympathize with Ron Paul's aversion to this foreign operation on behalf of a corrupt government, and wonder if there's something better we can do. Just like in 2008, Americans were turned off the war in Iraq. But don't let it lead us to nominating a totally irresponsible candidate like 2008 did, where they nominated Obama and he became president, and look at what happened to this country. Ron Paul's views are just terrible. He says, for example, that if you want to wiretap a terrorist who's about to blow up the World Trade Center, you may tap his home phone, but you may not tap his cell phone. And if you want to search his business, you have to notify him before you do it. All kinds of charges. He says, for example, in repealing the Patriot Act, that if we arrest somebody, arrest a terrorist, we have to make sure that all the evidence we get is covered by the Fourth Amendment, and that we have a warrant and all of that. Whereas the intelligence officials say, hey, we're not going in here to prosecute the guy. We're going in here to stop the terrorist abomination from taking place. You can't hold us to the Fourth Amendment for that. And the Patriot Act agrees with that. Ron Paul would sweep all of that away. He would legalize all drugs. Now, it's one thing to legalize pot. It's another thing to legalize heroin and cocaine. The effect of that could just be a disaster throughout the country. And then most importantly for me as a New Yorker, I look, I was born there, I look at his proposal, his statement that the 9/11 attacks were our fault, that we precipitated them because of our policies in the Middle East. And by the same token, he says that he would not have intervened in World War II unilaterally to have stopped the Holocaust from taking place. Comments like that and observations like that are just indicative of a very, very warped persona and a very warped worldview. So let's not let our concern over what's going on in Afghanistan take our eye off the ball, which is to nominate a candidate for president who represents our values and who can defeat Barack Obama. And Ron Paul flunks on both of those counts. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll chat about the Iowa caucus on the day they're taking place. Thanks a lot.